Hi, I'm Catherine Annette. I'm the star of the Coed and the Zombie Stoner. Welcome back to the movies.
We are standing on the edge tonight. Make the week so we can fly. Standing over the edge, falling over the edge. Yeah, yeah. We are hanging on the edge tonight. Need 1,000 weeks to fly. Standing over the edge. Back to the movies today. We have Catherine Annette, star of the Coed and the Zombie Stoner. How are you today, Catherine?
I'm super. Thanks for asking.
No problem. It's glad to see you're okay. And I'm really loving that United Kingdom pillar right behind you there. Fantastic.
It's for you.
Showing it off, showing the love for the UK there. Really appreciate it.
Somebody has to show you love because your soccer team didn't.
Well,
So
we're actually currently playing right now as we're doing this interview. But yeah, our soccer team pretty much sucked this World Cup. So yeah, I mean, it's nice to see that US is doing so well, though. I mean, there's got some good results coming along the way there, and I think they're going to go pretty far.
yeah, I hope so.
Are you a big soccer fan yourself?
No,
No.
but at this house, every game is on. So
All right, fair enough. Bit of
when the
World Cup
world
fever.
is a soccer fan, you kind of have to watch
That's
the
very
world.
true.
Yeah.
Right, so not a movie title that I'd usually come across. Something a little different when I was sent the Coed and the Zombie Stoner. I mean, how did you get the role of Chrissy in the movie?
Well, first of all, I'm going to answer a question about Coed and the Zombie Stoner. The title, it was, while we were shooting it, it was just called Zombie Stoners. And then they were talking about changing it to My Boyfriend is a Zombie. So the Coed and the Zombie Stoner was the mesh between the two different titles they were choosing. So that's why they called it that, from my point of view. And then I actually worked with the line producer of Dylan Vox before on another show through Retro Media. It's called After Midnight, and so he called me in to audition. I guess he had been overseas shooting, and when he came back, they were like, "Oh, we're shooting Zombie Stoners, but we don't have a cast." So he invited me in to audition because he worked with me before, and I think I auditioned on a Thursday. They called me on a Friday, and they're like, "We'd love to give you the part, but you can't think about it because we're starting shooting on Monday." And so I'm like, "Okay, I'll do it." I read the script. It was really funny. I love comedy, so of course I said yes.
Fantastic. Yeah, you definitely pulled off a very great part there. I mean, it seems like very instantaneous decision there. I mean, from reading the script, I can imagine that instantly for everybody who's seen it currently. I mean, you're going to say yes to that pretty much straight away because it sounds like a lot of fun.
It's hilarious. It was a lot of fun. Oh, I have a cat for you. Are you
Oh,
gonna?
we can interview the cat as well. I mean, that's totally fine.
Cat's name is Nut.
Okay, so Nut, what do you think about Catherine's role in the Coed and the Zombie Stoner?
She's really not a zombie fan.
Not a zombie fan. It's a shame. It's a real shame. Now, I mean, for me, the film personally starts off. It's very fast. It's very fast paced. It's very teen comedy. But Chrissy starts off as this very incredibly annoying chatterbox who won't
I
stop
know, I
talking and
remember
talking and talking. But she does later calm down during the film as the film goes on. So that's fantastic. But do you personally have any personality traits similar to Chrissy, which helped you to step into the role of her character a bit more?
Well, I am actually a lot like Chrissy in the fact that I'm a nerd. I'm a big nerd. I grew up in a family full of scientists and mathematicians.
Wow.
And so when I decided to move across the country and do acting and do art instead of, getting my PhD, that was a huge thing for my family. So I was definitely well versed in, working in a lab and with all those, giant words, so you might speak. The hard thing about that is, I know you're saying she was very annoying, is there was a lot of dialogue. And it was, even though I've gone to school, I didn't know, some of that scientific jargon. So we would shoot sometimes 10 to 15 pages a day. And sometimes 10 pages of that was just me talking. And like I said, I had 2 days to prep for this. So it's not like I had a couple of months to learn my lines. So I just remember from, we'd shoot 12, 13 hours. From the minute I got in my car, to drive to set, if I was not rehearsing the lines or acting, I was rehearsing the lines and going over the lines and trying to memorize them. So a lot of times my character trait is just, oh my God, I got the lines. Oh my God. It was a hard script, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I bet it was. I mean, with you saying you've got a history of science and mathematics there, I mean, would a little cameo on The Big Bang Theory be of any interest to you in the near future, do you think?
Yeah, you want to set it up for me?
Yeah, sure thing. I'll make some calls.
I love the Big Bang Theory. I think that one of the problems, well, not the problems, is that the humor for that is the same as any other humor. It's, the trifold. But this Code in the Zombie Stoner, there's a little bit of humor in her with the actual dialogue is funny when she's talking about like the science and the like the different chemical experiments and the reasons why the bomb works. Whereas the Big Bang Theory, it's, if you look at it, the jokes are all the same as the jokes from Friends or from, Two and a Half Men. It's just set with these very smart people.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, the way, in which Chrissy portrays the humour, it's like she's got things to say. She's got to say them very quickly. She knows what she's talking about, but it's still keeping to her sorority character. So she's like a sorority girl with a big brain, and she's just putting all this science jargon together in sort of a very teen American twang. So it's very nice. It's very different to see than obviously the Two and a Half Men crude humor and the Big Bang Theory humor that everybody gets to see. And I mean, the film itself, it never takes itself too seriously at any given moment. I mean, we've got boobs, we've got zombies, we've got parties, and we've got weed. And I mean, they all form together to make this crazy teen horror comedy. I mean, what was it like for you personally working on the set with such a crazy atmosphere being shot constantly?
It was hilarious. It was so much. It's probably one of the most fun I've ever had shooting. There were just times where I would crack up, and I wouldn't want to crack up because, like I said, other than, I mean, it was an amazing cast, an amazing crew, amazing script, but the shooting was grueling because it was nighttime over Christmas, like right before Christmas. So it was freezing. It would get down to freezing. Of course, none of us were wearing anything. And then it was night shoots of 12 or 13 hours, like 10 days in a row. So it was exhausting. And you just wanted to, get the shot and move on, even though you're having fun. But there would just be times where the whole crew was just so funny. We'd just crack up for, half an hour and lose time. And just because people are so genius. And I think the script was great. Like, for example, for my boyfriend, Rigo, who is played by Grant, he's phenomenal. He has nothing to say, and everything he does is all improv and all just like he made it up on a spot, and it's genius. And he's one of the funniest characters, and he's the most loving character. But it was great just to see that he created on set, and it was hard to keep a straight face, and you see the zombie smiling at you and blowing kisses at you. It's not something most people get to see. So it was so many talented people, and it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, you've completely just answered my next question. I mean, I was going to talk about the relationship between yourself and Grant on set, and obviously with his character being a zombie, it was basically like working with a monologue, because obviously you've got to take his emotions and you've got to take his actions on board. I mean, he doesn't have much to say, so was that difficult from you working with Grant, trying to feed off that emotion, or did he portray it so well that it didn't seem to be a problem?
Grant was fantastic. Like he I think took the zombie to a new level and put a lot of humanity into somebody that really didn't have a lot to say.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at a lot of actors, they put all their emotion into the words and how do I say these words and what inflection and what's the beats, and he had none of that. So all he had was just, his body language and his movement, and I think it actually made him be a little bit more emotional, so I could use him better. It was hard, like you were saying before, because it's monologues. It's like and my character didn't really pay attention to him. So there is the fact that, yes, he was a great actor and I got to work off of him, but when you look at the fact that Chrissy's just talking, she's not supposed to react to him. She's just supposed to be like, oh, there's this cute guy, he kind of likes me and I'm still going on my path. So it was still difficult with the character, but Grant made it as easy as possible. I remember when I had to do the scene where I say goodbye to him, and he didn't have to be in it, and I was like talking to a wall the way the cameras are set up, but he still managed to like scoot in, and he like stuck his head in sideways so that I could see his eyes, so that I could like, react to his eyes. So he's really, really giving that way.
That's fantastic. Yeah, you can definitely see the chemistry on screen. I mean, Grant's portrayal of the zombie, it actually makes you like have feelings for him. He makes the audience care about him. He doesn't even have to say a word, and then obviously you mature as the character matures throughout the film as well. It's very nice to see the sort of chemistry you guys make. Now, for everybody listening and watching out there, I just want to fill them in on the main gist of the story. Now, for those who don't know, Chrissy has to find a boyfriend, otherwise she'll get kicked out of her fraternity. Upon finding a zombie, she decides to date him. They eventually fall in love somehow through some crazy zombie love infatuation. Now, for me,
Smells good.
yeah, it smells, yeah, that rotting flesh by odor, whoever. I mean, for me, the film portrays a very strong message of looking beyond the exterior and finding the inner beauty that's inside somebody. I mean, was that your interpretation of the movie based on you reading the script, or do you have an alternative theory there?
My alternative theory is boobs and zombies, and we.
Okay, okay. I tried to look past the boobs and zombies, you know. I tried.
I do like that. I think that is definitely the script. Look beyond, everybody has something to give and everybody has somebody to love. And even at the beginning, I'm like, who's going to date me? Well, I found somebody, and I think everybody can find somebody. And I think it's also, like most movies, it's about finding yourself and finding the courage you didn't know you had, to overcome things and to fall in love. So the whole backstory and the through lines of the script are very positive. And I know a lot of teen movies and movies out there now are like about violence and pain and just killing everybody. And this one, I think, has really, like you said, a really strong, good message. Yeah. And boobs and zombies.
Yeah, they help. They carry the film. Yeah, definitely, for sure. If nobody picks up on this backstory that we're talking about here. I mean, yeah. For example, if you wake up tomorrow and you find your fiance is turned into a zombie, and just like Chrissy, you decide to carry on dating this guy, where would you go on your first date?
Where would I go on my first date?
Yeah.
Wow. Can zombies only... No, they can live during the day, right?
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
I wasn't sure about the rules of the zombies. I would probably take him to some type of restaurant or hospital, mortuary, or something so that he could get a meal and not eat me. So if I preempted his hunger by taking him somewhere to eat brains or flesh or something, then I would know that I would live another day. I know that's not romantic. That's very like survivalist.
It's very survivalist I might think that could be like an idea for a new film you got yourself there. I mean, like a zombie date. Yeah.
I like candles.
Yeah, candles make it all better somehow.
I pour the blood in the wine glass and we'd toast, but I would definitely fill his belly up.
That's cool. That's a very cool answer. I just want to thank you so much for coming on the show, Catherine. I mean, it's been a lot of fun having you on. I wish you all the best with the movie, and long may it continue to get good reviews across the internet as well.
Thanks so much for taking the time.